Hello everybody, it's Mr. Hartzler here. Today I'm going to show you how to build the cow catcher for the miniature train. This one, notice there's 5 pictures with this. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different dimensions, and sometimes I have to scroll from one picture to another just to figure out one general shape and to find all of its dimensions. Every so often they'll say something like this, the 0.25 typical. So that just means that it's the same on both sides. Everything that looks like it's right there is right there, or anything that looks like it's 0.25 is the 0.25. Same thing down here, 0.10 typical. Well, that means that all of it all the way around is a tenth of an inch thick. Diameter of 0.125, that's for this peg. Typical, but that means it's just the same for all 3 pegs. The order you do the pieces here is important. So I'm going to build the overall shape first, then I'm going to shell it because I know it's hollow, and I'm going to delete the bottom face. After I do that, I'm going to put cutouts on the front on both those little sides, and then I'm going to put the pegs on the back. If I do these little cutouts before I shell it, then I end up having those little cutouts pushed in right here when I shell. It ends up looking kind of funny. So make sure you shell it, then put these cutouts on. Alright, let's get started. This one's going to take some time. So I'm going to start a sketch on this surface. I'm going to do my bottom piece first. So I'm going to go and do this larger bottom because the bottom and the top are different dimensions, though the backs are flat. So I'm going to do my bottom first, then I'm going to come and do my top using an offset work plane. My bottom, I've started a sketch already. I have to do a rectangle, do from here over. It is, with just the rectangle part, 0.25 by 1.880. Alright, so I have that piece. From there I use lines and I come just kind of out. I'm just going to do a general shape, then dimension it so that it's the correct size from the front back. This piece here, make sure you're careful about what 2 things you're dimensioning between. So I'm only going from my peak back to my little rectangle piece here, and that one ends up being a 0.75. So be careful how you build this. Make sure everything is dimensioned according to how you are doing it. You might do it differently than me, and that's fine. Just make sure your dimensions are coming in correct. Otherwise you end up with some weird stuff and you end up not being able to do those cutouts on the front. And this should be 0.9 because it's in the middle. Alright, so this sketch, this one here, is done. I'm facing the wrong way, but that's not a big deal. So now I'm going to have to do an offset plane, and I can't see any planes. I don't have any shapes yet. So I'm going to open up my origin folder, and I'm going to find the plane that this sketch is drawn on. It was my XZ. So now I need to do offset of that, and that is by its height, which according to my little picture here is 0. There we go, 0.75. So that's the height now of my overall structure. I need to start a sketch up there. Alright, now I need to do the same thing. I'm starting on this back wall, so I'm going to start there so it's similar, and I come forward the same amount. I am 0.25 forward, and I am, in this case, 1.20 wide. Now everything else is going to be based off of this, my top one. Notice, if I rotate a little bit here, they are different sketches. I have one up here, and I have one down here. That's important. But I want to make sure that this top piece is centered over that bottom piece. I'm going to project geometry of this bottom box. And that is so I can put my top piece centered over my bottom piece. Okay, so this corner here matches up with this bottom corner here. So I'm going to dimension to that one. That way my top is correct over my bottom, and then I can forget about the bottom. So I'm going to dimension this side to this side, and I'm going to subtract my overall width of my top from my overall width of my bottom. So that's 1.8 minus 1.2. Again, that's overall width of my bottom minus overall width of my top. I'm going to go back and wrap that up in parentheses so that I can divide it by 2. That puts it smack dab in the middle. Let's see where it moves to. Okay. So now, I'll click right here, and we'll rotate just a little bit. This top rectangle is exactly in the middle over my bottom rectangle. That's important, so now I can just base everything off my top. Let's build lines from this corner out again, just like the bottom. They're very similar shapes. And then I'm going to dimension from the center point back. That is 0.5. From this point over. And that is 0.6. Again, careful how you do this. A lot of people might say that this number here, instead of being 0.5, is 0.75. Let me show you why. If I bring this over, the overall from the front to the back of the top smaller shape is 0.75, as you'll notice right here. But that's not how I dimensioned it. I did it from the front peak all the way back to where that rectangle started. So if I do that, I have to subtract out what that rectangle is, and that dimension is found up here. So it's my overall top, which is 0.75, minus the part I've already done. So I'm left with a 0.5. That's why some of my numbers aren't necessarily on that paper. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. It's not wrong if you build it a little bit differently or if you dimension from different things. Just making sure you're aware that mine might look different from yours, at least number-wise. Now I'm going to finish both these sketches. Go back to my home view. Now I'm going to loft. That's how I go from one sketch up to another. So I'm going to highlight this bottom piece, and then I want both of them. And I'm going, click to add another sketch, to this top one up here. And then hit OK. Alright, I'm going to rotate this around so it looks a little bit prettier. And I'm going to right-click and uncheck visibility on that work plane. Now look at that. That's a good, healthy start. This shape right here with that. Nice. If you end up doing this wrong, you won't be able to draw on this face here or on this face. So if you have any issue with that in the future, that is why. The top isn't directly over the bottom. You end up with kind of a warped face, and it's not going to let you create a sketch there. So let's do a real quick test. Try to make a sketch on there, and it squares up. That's good. That means nothing is out of whack here. I finished that, and I'm just going to delete that off to the left. I don't like unused sketches in there. So at this point, I'm going to shell. I want a uniform thickness of 0.1. Good. And you can kind of see a very faint pinkish color on the inside of the shape, and that's saying with the empty space. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom of it, and I'm going to click on this face. That deletes it, and then hit OK. So you'll notice now I have a hollow shape that has no bottom to it. Alright, I'm going to rotate this around so it's always the correct front. This is what I want to be home. Set current view as home. And fit to view. Instead of this being left, I want it to be front. So set current view as front. Alright, so again, we are hollow. Our bottom face is deleted. Now, let's go ahead and put these front pieces on right here. So I'm going to do this a little interestingly. It's very quick this way. I'm going to start a sketch on this side. I square up to just that one. I'm going to project geometry, and I'm going to select this face. Notice now it's yellow. The yellow means that I have traced that shape right there. Now I'm going to do offset. We've talked about this tool before in class, but this is interesting. I'll click on that yellow edge, and I'll creep in. Notice the number, how it gets larger as my shape actually gets smaller. That's actually the thickness between my inside and my outside shape. I want it to be 0.1. Hit enter, and look at that. That is perfect. It is just inside that, and it is 0.1 all the way around. I know it's supposed to be 0.1 because of this picture here. It is 0.1 typical, which means 0.1 all the way around this edge. And now I can extrude just this interface. I want it to be a cut. I don't want it to go all the way through like this. I just want it to go in, how far? Oh, this is on this picture right here. It is 0.05. That's how far in that little piece goes. 0.05. Alright, you can see at the bottom here I have a small edge. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, right here. So I'm going to start a sketch over there. Project geometry. Offset. And come in 0.1, extrude it, and it has defaulted, so now I just have to select which one. Notice right now it's popping out. I want it to cut in. Hit OK. Alright, and I think that's a good looking shape right there, if I don't say so myself. Again, we're shelled out of the bottom. If I were to shell out first, that cut that's out on this side, just like it is here, would be popped in, because even though it's notched in a little bit, it would still want to have a thickness of 0.1 all the way around. So that's where some of you might end up with some weird shapes in there. Alright, now I have to do the pegs on the back. So I'm going to start a sketch on my back side. I am going to start off by putting circles. Let's do general circles here. They have diameters of 0.125. I'm going to do another one over here, 0.125, and then there's one up here, 0.125. Again, I just did general circles all over the place because now I'm going to dimension them. This one, my height is 0.125. My distance from this edge, right here, that corner, is 0.275. And then I know the distance between this one and this one. Do it like it's chain dimensioning there down at the bottom. I know that is 1.25, and it is the same height, 0.125. And then this one, gotta figure out how tall he is. He is 0.625. Now, careful here too. This is where it's important to know where things are dimensioned from. Let's scroll down here, right here. So this top hole, or sorry, this top peg, it's telling you how far it is away from this edge, from this one here. That's the important part to note. So I'm dimensioning, and I need to go from here to the center of this other hole. And that one is 0.625. Alright, beautiful. Now let's extrude them all at once. So I hit extrude, and then I'm going to click on all of them. And they need to come out 0.125. There are all my pegs. Looking good. Now I have to put a small chamfer on them. I'm going to pick this one here. I need to be 0.01 with a 45-degree angle. I need to pick faces, this one and that edge. And then I have to do that for the rest of them. This one and that edge. This one, oh, I have to chamfer again. This one and that edge. That put a small chamfer on there. That'll just make it easier when I try to put that into the train body in the future. Okay, so that's the back. That's the bottom. You can see it as a hole cut out. And that's the front. Let's go over and take a better look at the front. Alright, that is the cow catcher, folks. Right there. Alright, if you have any questions, please put those down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and please subscribe to the channel. If you like seeing more stuff like this or just any other cool things that I post on there, please follow me on Instagram at Mr. Hartzler and Twitter at Mr. Hartzler Math. Thanks for watching, folks, and I hope you have a great day.